Weather Center Live, we want to officially put you on alert as we're watching ingredients come together that could have you in the middle of a situation like this. Who's at greatest risk of seeing tornadoes in the days ahead? We're taking you city by city and day by day.
And from one wild weather extreme to another, we're talking about rain and snow in California, but what's happening now could eventually turn into very dangerous situations for you in the days ahead. We'll explain. Our in-depth, expert-filled coverage starts and continues right now on Weather Center Live.
Happy Thursday to you, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Maria LaRosa. It really is a tale of two stories today. We have rain and storms to talk about.
And we live, you know what, I tell you what, if you live over the eastern half of the country, talk about the tale of two stories. What's happening across the west will eventually impact you over the east as the system is on the move and kind of setting the stage for weekend severe storms.
Yeah, we're going to have more on that in just a few minutes, but let's start with what's happening right now. Here's a look at Minneapolis. I see a little bit of wetness there on the lens. We're talking about rain and storms through the afternoon and into the evening. And Vivian, this is another spot where they're happy to get additional rainfall.
Yeah, we're kind of clapping for this forecast with the rain moving into the Twin Cities and a good part of the Midwest, because even though we've been talking a great deal about the drought across the West, in particular California, and the end to the drought in Texas, but we have been suffering from rainfall deficits over parts of the Midwest as well. So Minneapolis, you're looking at the rain today. It is raining as we speak, and check out the forecast right on into the late evening hours. We think the rain will continue, maybe slowly coming to an end, but those low clouds will hang around even overnight tonight. So here is the setup. The moisture increasing across the central U.S., all because we have the southerly winds bringing in that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and then the dip in the jet stream. Now, you know, the jet stream represents the fastest winds in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, and this is where we have this direction of the jet stream kind of pushing through central Missouri, the eastern parts of Iowa. So eventually another system will break out and create some stormy conditions in the heart of the country. But this is the system we're dealing with today, and again, beneficial rains over parts of the Midwest. More details on the forecast coming up. Maria?
All right, I'm going to take you a little further off to the west. California, stormy wet weather headed your way, much needed, I'll add. Here's a live look at San Francisco. You can still see sort of the gray skies, the low clouds, leading to some minor inbound delays at SFO. So again, just a sign of the times. We've got some changes coming about, and that means and translates into rain and, yes, even snow across the west. We've got it all coming at you. But most importantly, we've got some rain coming. And for Los Angeles, for you, maybe as much as half an inch over the next day or two. But look at San Diego, more than an inch coming your way, and that hasn't happened in a long time. Here's the pattern, right? We've got that dip in the jet stream, and that supplies some cooler air, not just on the ground, but above, and that leads to showers and thunderstorms, and in some cases even hail-producing showers and thunderstorms like we're seeing already in parts of the west. But that upper level low bringing that wet weather, and not just once but a few times over the next few days. So right now, as we watch the radar, there's the rain trying to make its way into LA, not quite along the 5 here. Some lightning detected offshore, but even into San Francisco wouldn't be unheard of to hear maybe a rumble of thunder. Look at that too, going forward, some mountain snow. But boom, by tomorrow morning, it could be kind of a mess of a morning drive. San Diego, Los Angeles, so heads up now, because it looks like you may get a pretty good soaking there for tomorrow. Again, all good news, right? About an inch or two possible through the Great Basin, about an inch, Four Corners as well. But it's also those higher elevations through the mountains. Yeah, the Sierra Nevada looking at maybe as much as 12 to 18 inches of snow. Just keep in mind, it is spring. A lot of campers out there, hikers, just be on alert for changing weather conditions, because this could get nasty real fast. But it really is a sign of the times. This is actually related to the severe weather that we're forecasting for the weekend. Our storm specialist Carl Parker is in the lab, making sure we have all the latest details coming in, and it's still on track to look pretty nasty this weekend.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we've got a big old storm that's going to be slowly coming out, just as we saw last week. And so first, what's going to happen is a piece of that is going to move out here and across into the northern plains. That'll happen between tonight and tomorrow. That's going to set up tomorrow's severe weather. But then you're going to watch this whole big feature, this big upper low, bodily come out on Saturday and Sunday, and that's going to raise the stakes. We'll see a larger area of severe weather, and we'll probably see even stronger storms on Saturday. Now, here's a look at the amount of low-level buoyant energy in the atmosphere. So this is a function of both the warmth and the humidity in the lowest levels and also the colder air aloft. So thunderstorms really want to bubble up in these areas where there's high potential energy, and we see a lot of that tomorrow. And then the next thing that we look for is stronger mid-level wind, and we're just starting to see that come out tomorrow, especially there in the northern and central plains. So that's where the severe weather threat is going to be greatest in Kansas, in Nebraska, and also in parts of Oklahoma. So here's the severe weather forecast for tomorrow for those areas, and the Torcon values are up a little bit as compared to what we were looking at this morning. Now a 5 out of 10 in, and also a 5 out of 10 in central and western Nebraska, and we're looking at a 4 out of 10 down into Oklahoma, right around the panhandles. Now let's compare what we were looking at for tomorrow with Saturday's forecast, and here you've got that area of buoyant energy once again, but a lot more mid-level wind driving out here and right across that area. So again, a more widespread area of severe weather, and we could be talking about even stronger storms. Right now what we're looking at is an area of potential severe from the northern plains all the way down through Texas. The Torcon values now at 4s and 5s, but it wouldn't be surprising to see them come up a tick by the time we get into tomorrow. 4 there in South Dakota. It is a 5 in central and eastern Nebraska and central Kansas, and we're looking at a 4 out of 10 in central and eastern Oklahoma. And just as we saw last Saturday and Sunday, this area of severe weather will then lift up into the Midwest, and we're looking at a 4 out of 10 on the Torcon index, centered around Minnesota and Wisconsin. Maria, Viv, over to you.
All right, Carl, thank you so much. And sometimes you don't think about it, but there is actually a positive coming out of all the severe weather.
Yeah, the silver lining is what was once a major problem isn't as much of an issue these days because of the heavy rain from the storms. We're breaking down the drought, or their lack of, in some areas. That's coming up next.
All right, before we go to break, though, we have a question for you that deals with the drought. A full bathtub is about how many gallons of water? I want to get you thinking about this. Is it A, 21, B, 28, or C, 36? What's your guess? Well, we're going to have the answer right after your local on the 8s.
Today's the day. More and more people with type 2 diabetes are learning about long-acting Levemir.
As my diabetes changed, it got harder to control my blood sugar. Today, I'm asking about Levemir.
Levemir is an injectable insulin that can give you blood sugar control for up to 24 hours. And Levemir helps lower your A1C. Levemir lasts 42 days without refrigeration. That's 50% longer than Lantus, which lasts 28 days. Levemir comes in FlexTouch, the latest in insulin pen technology from Novo Nordisk.
Levemir is a long-acting insulin used to control high blood sugar in adults and children with diabetes and is not recommended to treat diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not use Levemir if you are allergic to any of its ingredients. The most common side effect is low blood sugar, which may cause symptoms such as sweating, shakiness, confusion, and headache. Severe low blood sugar can be serious and life-threatening. Ask your doctor about alcohol use, operating machinery, or driving. Other possible side effects include injection site reactions. Tell your doctor about all medicines you take and all of your medical conditions. Check your blood sugar. Your insulin dose should not be changed without asking your doctor. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing, sweating, extreme drowsiness, swelling of your face, tongue, or throat, dizziness, or confusion.
Today's the day to ask about Levemir FlexTouch. Covered by most health insurance and Medicare plans.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This this afternoon, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy skies, high 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather Channel's most watched original program,
and it just hit us,
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
If your car's side glass gets broken, trust SafeFlight. SafeFlight has more glass in stock than anyone, and we'll get you back on your way fast.
Thank you so much.
Good as new.
That's another SafeFlight advantage.
SafeFlight repair, SafeFlight replace.
Before the break, we asked, a full bathtub is about how many gallons of water? Have your guess? The correct answer is C, 36 gallons of water. And so you have about 2 to 3 gallons of water per minute when you run the shower. So that puts in perspective for you.
Okay, and we're mentioning that because, you know, we've been dealing with an extreme drought scenario, not only in California, but over parts of Texas. But with the recent rain, we've kind of put a true dent in that overall drought.
When you take a look at the numbers as they stood at the start of the year, right? So looking at the end of December 2014, 11% of the state in extreme drought, but that number is 65% of the state in regular drought. That's the area shaded in yellow, so a good chunk of Texas. But you go through the rest of the winter into spring, February, March, and April. At the end of April into May, we made a real dent. Now just 1% of the state in extreme drought.
Yeah, the month of May seems to have really been the savings grace in Texas, in particular over the Red River Valley. So now only 1% of the state in extreme drought.
All right, and that has also had an impact on the lakes. This has been a big story over the last several years. A lot of the Texas lakes just basically, you know, evaporating. But Lake Ray Roberts, for example, that trend has been upward just in the last few days.
Oh, yeah, so that is good news, of course, for the Lone Star State. Now, the heavy rain, but on the other hand, and on the other side of the coin, some areas in Texas are underwater, seeing twice the rainfall they usually get in the month of May. Around Houston, drivers stranded, businesses flooded.
Yeah, too much of a good thing, right? But as mentioned, there is a positive side. So some of those areas have been stuck in the drought for years. Anna Riddis Rodriguez takes a look at that side of the story.
Best year we've had in the last 5 years.
Lush green fields now blanketing central Texas, a sign their long, crippling drought may be retreating.
All the lakes, I think, are full now in North Texas. We hadn't had that in forever.
Lake Whitney, south of Dallas, now completely full. Before this week's deluge, it stood at 78% capacity, adding more than 6 feet of water in just 7 days. It's a stark contrast to what Texas lakes looked like just last year. But even 2014 didn't match the devastation of 2011, which rivaled the Dust Bowl of the 1930s.
Oh, it's hurt real bad.
These drops are turning that hurt into hope for ranchers at the Clifton Livestock Commission.
The mood around here has been wonderful. This time last year, I think for 2014, we had about an inch and a half of rain. Up until this point, we're right at about 16 inches since the 1st of January.
This rain's turned around. Everybody's restocking, getting their numbers back again.
For the first time in years, ranchers are looking to add cattle to herds, which may eventually push down cattle and beef prices. But ranchers in Central Texas aren't getting ahead of themselves. The only numbers they're watching are the rain gauge.
To tell you the truth, I've lost count of how much rain I've had.
Oh, I feel blessed and lucky both from the good Lord above.
And you may be making plans for the weekend. We are here to make sure that you know what to expect, taking you from Seattle to Chicago to Dallas and to New York, keeping you covered. Here's Vivian with a look ahead.
Yes, from the national perspective, check out the forecast for the weekend. On Saturday, 80% of the country at least looking at the chance of showers and storms as we begin the weekend, because everywhere you see the green, that's where we have the chance of the showers and storms. Not everywhere will you definitely get it, but definitely increasing the possibility. On Sunday, we kind of clear it out across parts of the Southwest and the Central Plains, but anywhere, say east of the Mississippi, we're talking about the scattered showers and storms, parts of the upper Midwest, and even over parts of the Pacific Northwest as well. Now, not only showers, but storms that could turn severe even on Saturday. You're in the red zone from Central Texas all the way to the Dakotas. Sunday, much of the same, perhaps the risk a little bit out of the Dakotas into parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota, and even east of Texas for the most part in terms of the red zone, eastern Oklahoma and Arkansas. So right in the heart of the country, going through the weekend, we'll watch for storms. All the while, the other big story will be the heat wave along the northeast coast.
Let's do this. We start here, talk to her, pick up some of that, a few of those. Okay, a lot of those. Then dirt, plants, water, just a little time, and then boom. Spring. Big time. Let's do this. Toro days are here, and so are big savings. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician-recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear.
What average underwear feels like. What Duluth Trading Buck Naked underwear feels like. Duluth Trading Buck Naked underwear feels like wearing nothing at all. No pinch, no stink, no sweat. Get a pair only at DuluthTrading.com.
Here at the TD Ameritrade Trader Group, they work all the time. What's up, JJ? Working hard?
Working 24/7 on Mobile Trader, rated #1 trading app in the App Store. It lets you trade stocks, options, futures, even advanced orders. And it offers more charts than a lot of the other competitors do in desktop.
You work so late. I guess you don't get to see your family very much.
I see them all the time. Did you finish your derivative pricing model, honey?
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade, you got this.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere.
And then it was silent.
This was it.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
If you struggle with back pain, you have the power to turn it off. With this.
Smart Relief from Icy Hot. Just press a button and Smart Relief sends a wave of relaxing pulses that quickly and safely block even chronic back pain for fast, noticeable relief that lasts.
It's the same type of therapy doctors and physical therapists use. And it's wireless, reusable, and easy to use. Turn on Smart Relief and turn off pain.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
It was right on top of us. And then it hit. And we took it to the edge. Didn't give up.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy skies, high 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
What a day we had yesterday. Drivers stranded, businesses flooded as heavy rain pounds Houston, Texas. Some drivers were stuck in 10 hours of the muck and then the rain in the area along the Gulf Freeway in the Webster area. Webster is just south and east of Houston. Reports of 11 inches in just 24 hours. Now, as for the city itself, 3 to 4 inches of rain reported, and that's twice what they usually get the first 2 weeks in May. And unfortunately, it is not over just yet because more rain on the way. In fact, we're looking at the local radar with those storms coming in, and I'll show you that local radar in just a moment. But we want to show you that even later on, closer to the dry line, we're anticipating more storms, and they could turn severe here over west to central Texas. Dangerous lightning strikes we could have with them, as well as locally heavy rain. Here is the setup. As mentioned, we have that moisture coming in from the western Gulf of Mexico, and right around the Houston area, we have the influx of moisture and those heavy thunderstorms producing some heavier downpours coming into the region. Just west of downtown Houston, you can see these embedded stronger storms, and we've had reports of about 250 lightning strikes every 15 minutes in this small little area as you get on Interstate 10 and head west out of Houston. Again, accumulations around this area already within the last 48 hours, upwards some 10 inches here just north and west of Galveston and north of Victoria, heavy amounts as well. Houston, here's a look at your forecast as we go deeper into the afternoon and overnight hours, still the chance of the storminess. So we will be here monitoring the radar and keeping you updated as these thunderstorms develop throughout the day. Maria?
And Vivian, it's not just today, it's not even just tomorrow. Once again, looking ahead to a wild weather weekend that we want to give you a heads up on all of it, because we know a lot of big plans. Maybe it's a soccer game. Maybe this is the last weekend before your kids head out of school for the summer. I know my kids are wrapping up the week now. So a lot going on. Let's get you ready for it. Tomorrow is the setup. You're looking at it. The big dip in the jet stream, that upper level low, that supplies the cold air that leads to instability. So all these things that come together are all things that help lift the air, in some cases very strongly. We don't have anything shutting off the moisture. That is the rich fuel for showers and thunderstorms. And then a couple of triggers at play. We've talked about the dip in the jet stream, that area of low pressure, but we also have a dry line which acts like a boundary, a front, another mechanism to lift the air. It separates the dry air from where it's really, really moist. And in this case, this time of year, they can really lead to explosive showers and thunderstorms. So as we get in through tomorrow, our main area of concern, especially for the tornadoes, as we have in through the Central Plains from Nebraska down through Texas, Wichita, Dodge City, Amarillo, in that area. Not much changing Saturday and Sunday, except that we're seeing actually a little bit of a northward jog of that thread area because that moisture is getting pulled way up to the north. So Fargo, Des Moines, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, Dallas, you're in it again. And as we get in through on Sunday, Sunday, now we have Duluth and Madison, so getting closer to the upper Midwest now, but St. Louis in on it too, as well as Little Rock. So fine-tuning some of the Torcons. We're seeing these in some cases get bumped up a little bit, so we're starting to see it really ramp up and come together. But for now, North Platte, Nebraska for tomorrow, 4 out of 10. By Saturday for Omaha, a 5 out of 10. And you can see even on into Sunday, a 3 out of 10 for Madison, Wisconsin. And Vivian, it's lower on the end of the scale here, but not 0. It's going to be that kind of weekend.
Oh, that kind of weekend for sure. Thanks very much, Maria. Well, we want to get you caught up on another weather story making waves right now. Typhoon Dolphin. Okay, this is the lower 48, but let's go out across the central Pacific Ocean as we get closer to the island nation of Guam. Here is Typhoon Dolphin. It has winds of over 100 miles per hour. In fact, 110 miles per hour as of the latest advisory, and estimated, of course, by the satellite imagery and everything. We don't have airplanes that can go out and really give these true estimates, but according to some of the estimates in terms of extrapolating from the radar, those winds, or from the satellite, those winds are over 100 miles per hour, and it could get stronger as it gets to Guam. We will keep you updated.
How about over there?
What does it mean to have an unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz? What does it mean to drive as far as you want for up to 3 years and be covered? It means your odometer is there to record the memories. During the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event now through June 1st, you'll get complimentary prepaid maintenance and receive your first 2 months payments on us, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Shopping for the family used to cause a lot of stress between me and my budget. But thanks to Fingerhut, we have found our happy place.
Life is definitely sweeter.
At Fingerhut.com, we got approved to shop with low monthly payments, over 200,000 items with brand names like Samsung, Dyson, DeWalt, and with great family stuff like this Samsung TV.
And even our yoga mats.
All you got to do is click on over to Fingerhut.com and get the credit you deserve to get all kinds of great stuff for the family.
Sunday dinners at my house.
You're waiting for my lasagna, aren't you?
It's a full day for me, and I love it. But when I started having back pain, my sister had to come help. I don't like asking for help. I took Tylenol, but I had to take 6 pills to get through the day. So my daughter brought over some Aleve. It's just 2 pills all day. And now,
to family,
I'm back.
Aleve, 2 pills, all day strong, all day long. And for a good night's rest, try Aleve PM for a better AM.
Introducing HBO Now, the new standalone streaming service that brings you all of HBO, and all you need is the internet. Get instant access to every episode of every season of the best of HBO's award-winning original series. With HBO Now, you get access to hundreds of exclusive movies every month, and so much more. Plus, watch big premieres as they air on TV. HBO Now available on your favorite Apple devices. Download the app to start your free trial today.
We make meeting times, lunch times, and conference times. But what we'd rather be making are tea times. Tea times are the official start of what we love to do. The time for shots we'd rather forget, and the ones we'll talk about forever. In Michigan, long days, relaxing weather, and more than 800 pristine courses make for the perfect tea time. Because being able to play all day is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. this afternoon. Sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy skies. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Floodwaters rising in South Texas, bringing major headaches for folks in the region. Drivers in Nueces County waded through several inches of water, over 1.5 inches falling just yesterday, over 3.5 in the past 48 hours. The Oso Creek is 5 feet above flood stage, forcing several roads to be closed. Sewer systems in Corpus Christi have backed up. And that's from rain that has already fallen. We've got more in the forecast. Thank you so much for watching Weather Center Live. I'm Maria LaRosa.
And I'm Vivian Brown. And Maria, just a never-ending weather story. We've been talking about it for days and for weeks now. A day in and day out of the intense storms, definitely taking a toll on everybody for the most part. And especially an Oklahoma mother and father who left their 5 children behind as they went out to get help because their home was surrounded by floodwaters.
The story, right? They barely made it out after the water from a flooded creek was as high as their truck's headlights, and their truck is about 5 feet off the ground. They returned with rescue crews and got the kids out safely in a raft. They say the hardest part was making it through the floodwaters.
We either had to keep moving or stop and stall out in the middle of it. We went ahead and came into town and immediately called our friends at the emergency management office to start working on a way to be able to get back home and get our children.
And they said when they got home, their children weren't worried at all. They even dressed up in their nicest clothes just in case they had a chance to be on TV. And they're sweet little hearts. We love happy endings. But we do want to get you caught up on what's happening now because we're tracking some things on the radar.
Yeah, because unfortunately more rain on already very waterlogged and saturated areas. Spring rain across weather headlines for this segment, and you can see St. Louis, we're watching you as well. The good news is that today no heavy rain is falling across central Texas, even though we're watching areas just west of the Houston vicinity, and we'll check on that in a moment. But a lot of that rain has moved into the Midwest, which is another region of the country that could really use the rain. So from St. Louis up to Minneapolis, we're getting showers and storms in the forecast today, right on through the overnight hours. Here's a look at the setup right now. The current radar does show a batch of storms just to the west of you, St. Louis, and then more of a light to moderate rain shaft that is pushed into the central and southern parts of Minnesota, cross over into northern Iowa, get somewhat of a break, say, from Des Moines area down to central Missouri, but then we're following this little line. It is showing some signs now of some dangerous lightning strikes with it right now, but no severe thunderstorm warnings have been issued out on this batch of storms just to the west of St. Louis. We'll be watching this region for the rest of the day today and even overnight as all of the moisture and energy with this system kind of scoots on off to the east overnight. So that is definitely some good news because, as mentioned, this area is dealing with somewhat of a drought. I mean, 6% of the state is still experiencing severe drought across much of the Midwest. Not just the state, but this entire region, 6% in severe drought. So an additional rain could be a helpful thing. Maria?
And those storms in the Midwest, let's talk about some of the much needed rain and storms across the West Coast, including in San Francisco. Live look right now, temperatures near 60 degrees, but you still have the overcast leading to some slowdowns at the airport. Still about 40-minute inbound delays because of low clouds at SFO, but they'll take it. They'll take the clouds, they'll take the rain, and they've got it coming over the next few days. Look at this stat. This kind of puts in perspective for you. San Diego, okay? Potential for over an inch of rain through Saturday. Since 1940, total May rainfall has not exceeded an inch in a long time, since 1977, when they got about an inch and a half. So it does not happen that often. But look at this. They'll take it for sure. The darker shade of red, that's the exceptional drought for California, and it's just about the entire state. But that dip in the jet stream not only leading to cooler air, but enhanced chances for rain and thunderstorms, and that's what we've got going on, along with that area of low pressure. So here's how it looks right now. Still tracking the rain just offshore. Looks like Los Angeles may be looking at some showers shortly. Also Santa Barbara as well as San Francisco. It looks like our lightning tracker right there flashing up there to the west of the 5 near San Francisco. So already pretty active on the radar. It has been through parts of the west, but watch what happens. Watch that slam into Southern California late tonight, early tomorrow morning with locally heavy rainfall, and that continues even as we get into tomorrow evening, all adding up to a good amount of rain in spots that desperately need it. So Los Angeles, chances of showers today, tonight, and tomorrow for that matter, so we like that, but also the mountain snow. Keep in mind any hikers or campers making plans this weekend, watch out for quickly changing weather conditions. This is all, believe it or not, setting up for the severe weather this weekend. Let's bring in storm specialist Carl Parker breaking down that threat and set up very similar to last weekend.
Yeah, it certainly is, because we're looking at a weekend severe event with this big low slowly coming out. It's really going to get going tomorrow, but then step up quite a bit, we think, on Saturday and continue into Sunday for parts of the Midwest. So let's begin with the radar and satellite picture. You can very clearly see this big spin in the atmosphere centered over California. Now, here's another way of looking at that. This is a model representation of the spin in the atmosphere at about 10,000 feet up, about 2 miles up. And where we're seeing more of this, we know there's more energy in the atmosphere, there's more lift in the atmosphere, and that's just going to begin to come out tomorrow. So right in there, that's where it's starting to come out across the northern and central plains. So in particular, Kansas and Nebraska and Oklahoma are going to be in for severe weather, South Dakota as well. But then on Saturday, we're going to watch this thing really bodily come out, and that's going to expand the area of severe weather and probably step up the threat as well. And then it moves up and into the Midwest on Sunday, and that's where we're going to find the strongest storms across parts of the Midwest. So here's tomorrow's forecast. The severe weather extending from South Dakota down through Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and down along the dry line as well. That's that interface between warm and humid air and then drier air, which is coming out of the southwest. A lot of convergence right along that boundary, and that's where storms are going to initiate. The Torcon values are up a little bit as compared to this morning. This forecast from our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. So from South Dakota down through Nebraska, 5 out of 10 on the Torcon, and it's a 4 out of 10 in north central and northeastern Kansas. Now, going into Saturday, again, we watch the big feature really come out. We're going to see turning of the winds with height and also an increase of the wind speed with height. And the turning and that increase in speed creates what's called vorticity or spin in the atmosphere. And so what happens is thunderstorms will punch up into that atmosphere of vorticity, that spin, and they themselves then begin to rotate. Once you've got a rotating storm, that's when you increase the risk, obviously, of having tornadoes. So there's a look at Saturday's forecast. Very large area from Minnesota. Torcon values now around 4 to 5 in the northern and central plains. It would not be surprising to see those values coming up. 4 in eastern South Dakota. It is now a 5 in central eastern Nebraska and central Kansas, and looking at a 4 down into Oklahoma. We've also got a 4 out of 10 in the Torcon centered around Wisconsin and Minnesota on Sunday. Another big day potentially on Sunday. Maria, Viv, over to you.
All right, thanks very much, Carl. Well, as we go to break, we turn our focus back to the west as we deal with those hot, dry conditions.
Yeah, firefighters in Sacramento containing a brush fire near Fair Oaks. The flames forced 2 families and homes to evacuate and cause damage to a deck. Winds gusted up to 20 miles per hour. That helped fuel the fire, but crews, along with help from some residents, were able to get it under control. The cause is still under investigation.
And before we go to break, we have another question for you as we deal with the drought. Now, 1 inch of rain over an acre of land is how many gallons of water? Is it A, a little more than 21,000? Is it B, a little more than 27,000? Or C, a little more than 33,000? Well, think about it, and we'll have the answer for you when we return.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy skies. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
What's up with your car?
Pretty sure it's possessed and out of warranty.
I'm going to cost you a fortune at the dealership, Cheryl.
Well, at Midas, our experts will tell you what needs fixing now and what can wait. And they don't laugh at people.
I'm sorry, Cheryl. No, I'm not. I am not sorry at all.
Get the Midas Touch maintenance package with oil change, tire rotation, and more. Use your Midas credit card and get a rebate of $20. Go to Midas.com to make an appointment. Trust the Midas Touch.
As the host of a popular home improvement show, I know a lot about finding a great contractor for home repairs and improvement projects. Now there's HomeAdvisor.com, a free service that matches your project to top local service professionals.
We didn't have to do any work other than say what we needed.
Just 1, 2, 3, I found my guy and everything was smooth.
And it's always free to use.
We've had nothing but fabulous every single time.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now to get started on your next project.
Home Advisor. There's a big difference between retirement and a secure retirement. Well, you may be standing right in front of the difference between uncertainty and knowing that everything's going to be all right. It's your home. Turning your home's equity into tax-free cash when you need it is a simple way to eliminate your existing monthly mortgage payments, pay off debt, and get you and your family the financial resources you need. It's a loan that your home pays back instead of you making monthly payments, the way you do with a traditional mortgage. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage. Now, we all love our homes. Why not just stay there using a reverse mortgage with AAG? It could be the perfect solution. Call us today to receive a free information pack with no obligation that contains a helpful 3-part guide and DVD. You'll receive a guide to reverse mortgages and how they work, including the many consumer safeguards that protect you and your home. Also, our important all-new reverse mortgage retirement planner that explains the many ways a reverse mortgage could provide stability and security for your retirement. We then add a guide filled with information for children and loved ones. It's got what you need to know about reverse mortgages and how they can play a vital role in your retirement plans.
Call 1-800-816-8185 to receive our all-new information pack, all absolutely free with no obligation. Call 1-800-816-8185. That's 1-800-816-8185.
Real retirement security makes all the difference. Find out more about what a reverse mortgage can do for you.
Call 1-800-816-8185 to receive our all-new information pack, all absolutely free with no obligation. Call 1-800-816-8185. That's 1-800-816-8185.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
All right, before the break, we asked 1 inch of rain over an acre of land is how many gallons of water? Well, the correct answer is B, believe it or not. 27,000 gallons of water is what will be equivalent to an inch of rain over an acre of land. Maria?
And an acre, Viv, is about the size of a football field. So that shows you how little space and how much water that really is. It's a pretty amazing stat. And we've seen plenty of rain in parts of Texas, and that's where our focus for at least the severe weather will be, and we think later today. Midland, Abilene, San Angelo, Del Rio in that area in red. Heightened risk of the heavy rainfall, the gusty winds, hail, maybe a tornado too. Can't rule that out because of the dry line. But look what's happening off to the east, eastern Texas. The flow off the Gulf, that is wide open, so you have plenty of moisture. Not much of a trigger except the heating of the day here, and so you have scattered showers and thunderstorms. And look at all that lightning that's popped up in the last hour or so right along I-10 west of Houston. We know that this area cannot handle a ton more rain, so we're going to be keeping a close eye on any flash flooding that may occur. You may as well over the next few hours. Vivian?
Well, Maria, several years of drought in Texas, but now some relief from the heavy rain over the past week. But has that been enough? Well, earlier, Chris Warren and Jen Carfagno spoke with Mark Vaboda from the National Drought Mitigation Center in Lincoln, Nebraska to get some answers.
We've had a wet couple week stretch, but certainly history in the past couple of years has shown us that we can be quite dry here.
Well, we still are lagging on some recovery. There's still some concerns on some reservoir levels and groundwater levels. And that can be the lifeline for communities, whether it's drinking water or for agriculture. And they're the last to come out of drought. They're typically the last when you go into drought, so there's a lag there. So certainly if you go really hot and dry and get, extended triple-digit heat that we've seen in parts of 2011, 2012, you could reverse this pretty quickly. But this is the way drought seems to work as well. Mother Nature tends to bring us out pretty quickly. Flooding during drought events is not uncommon at all.
And you pay probably more attention than anybody does about this. When looking at the drought and the drought monitor, what concerns you the most?
Well, I think what concerns us the most is when do you say it's all clear? Drought's real tricky on that lag coming out of drought, just like it is going into drought. You don't want to cry wolf too soon, but you want people to be prepared and take a heads up. We've seen this in Texas before where we've had really a wet year on record followed by 2 dry years. So the question is, this is a short-term drought recovery year within a longer-term drought, not a mega drought type of situation maybe like we're seeing in the West, but rather is it a blip on the radar versus long-term sustainable recovery? So that remains to be seen, and I think we need to see this go through. And perhaps with El Nino brewing out there in the oceans, that'll get us through next winter in much better shape. We can finally say Texas has really recovered from this drought, but I think we're going to have to wait a few months to figure that out.
Let's check out the forecast over the next 7 days for Texas and the whole nation. Beginning with today, of course, as we progress deeper into the afternoon hours, can't rule out the red zone here in west central Texas for some of those storms to turn severe. We'll keep you updated on that. Other than that, we've had a batch of rain to move through parts of the Midwest and some beneficial rains in southern and central California, even some snow as you go into the highest elevations. So great news as another system comes out of the Intermountain West. But look at tomorrow. We will focus our attention again right here over the central and southern plains, the greatest risk of those storms. And we're even throwing in the risk of tornadoes on Saturday across the middle of the country. That will be the case Sunday. As you can see, all of the green on the map. This weekend will be another stormy weekend right in the heart of the country. So we want you to rely on the Weather Channel this entire weekend. We'll keep you updated.
So we've had a Tempur-Pedic for a while, but now that we have the adjustable base, it's even better.
When I put my feet up on this bed, my stress just goes away.
Go up. Our Tempur-Pedic is the best thing in our house, except for my husband. Wait, where are you going?
Discover how Tempur-Pedic can move you. And now through May 31st, save hundreds on a Tempur-Breeze mattress and adjustable base.
So you think this chip is nothing to worry about? Well, at Safelite, we know sooner or later, every chip will crack. These friends were on a trip when their windshield got chipped. So they scheduled at safelight.com. They didn't have to change their plans or worry about a thing. I'll see you in a little bit. And I fixed it right away with a strong repair they can trust. Plus, with most insurance, a Safelight repair is no cost to you.
Really?
Being there whenever you need us, that's another Safelight advantage.
Safelight Repair, Safelight Replace.
You don't know your credit
I don't know
score?
my credit score.
That's really important. I mean,
I don't know my
Don't
credit
you want to
score.
buy a house, like, ever? You should probably check out Credit Karma. It's free.
Credit Karma. Free.
Credit Karma. Really free credit scores.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on.
Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy skies, high 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
.73% of Americans try to cook healthy meals, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One A Day Men's 50 Plus, complete with key nutrients we may need. Plus, it helps support healthy blood pressure with vitamin D and magnesium.
Most homes have air leaks and drafts that waste as much energy as leaving a window open in your home all year long. Call Champion Windows at 844-4CHAMPION and you can get 25% off of new windows for your home. Call today because every home needs a champion.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
When our little girl was born, we got a Subaru. It's where she said her first word. No. Saw her first day of school. Bye-bye. Made a best friend forever. Oh my God. The backseat of my Subaru is where she grew up.
What? The 2015 Subaru Forester.
What?
Built to be there for your family. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do? Drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
New car replacement is just one of the features that comes standard with a base Liberty Mutual policy. And for drivers with accident forgiveness, rates won't go up due to your first accident. Learn more by calling 1-888-380-5644. Switch to Liberty Mutual and you could save up to $423. For a free quote today, call Liberty Mutual Insurance at 1-888-380-5644. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program.
And it just hit us.
Is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Well, crews in Oklahoma expected to head out today to survey the damage from last weekend's severe weather. The governor expanding the state of emergency, adding 32 counties for a total of 44. This past weekend, there were 8 reports of tornadoes in Oklahoma. 2 people were killed in the deadly storms, and 40 others were taken to the hospital with storm-related injuries. And unfortunately, we could have a similar setup as we prepare for this upcoming weekend. So let's check in with Maria, who's joined by storm specialist Carl Parker in the lab.
And Vivian, you know, watching this imagery, once again, we find ourselves looking down the pipeline or upstream to figure out what's going to be happening this weekend.
Yeah, and it looks so much like what we saw last week, where we had a big upper low over California and Nevada, and a little piece of that is going to eject out and come out into the northern plains tomorrow, but the main system doesn't really come out until Saturday and Sunday. So one of the things that we like to look at, first of all, is the buoyant energy in the atmosphere. So this is a function of not only the warmth and humidity in the low levels, but also how cold it is upstairs, because there's a density difference there. And once we get that parcel going, if it gets increasingly colder, it's going to keep going. Very much like trying to hold a ball underwater in the pool, wants to jump out, and a parcel is going to do the same thing in an unstable atmosphere. So this is where the available energy is across a lot of the middle of the country, and we're just starting to see the wind coming out there in the northern and central plains in particular. So that's where the tornado threat is going to be higher, but a lot of the wind's still hanging back tomorrow, and it's really going to come out on Saturday. So here's tomorrow's forecast, talking about wind, large hail, and tornadoes as well. And in fact, Dr. Forbes raised the Torcon values up to a 5 now for south central South Dakota and also for Nebraska, and then it's now a 4 as you get down into Oklahoma. So certainly it's not going to be a huge amount of mid-level wind coming up, but there will be enough given the amount of instability out there to get these storms rotating.
All right, and again, the time frame looking to be towards the afternoon and evening.
Exactly right, exactly. And then the other thing that we look at is the dry line. That's the trigger point for a lot of these storms. So you've got warm and humid air coming up from the south, and then you've got drier air coming out of the southwest, and there's a boundary, there's an area of convergence. And what's really interesting is that the air has different densities based on the amount of moisture that's in the air, and that has everything to do with the atomic weight of these different things. So the atomic weight of water is a lot lower than it is for oxygen or nitrogen. So humid air is actually a lot lighter than is dry air, even though the dry air is a lot warmer. It's kind of backwards.
You wouldn't think of it because you think of humidity as thick and heavy and weighing you down, but it's not. And we haven't seen the Gulf of Mexico shut down at all. I mean, it's been open, and we have a clear shot to just more of that pumping in there.
Absolutely. There's going to be a terrific amount of warmth and humidity coming in. So once again, you've got a very large area of buoyant energy. And there's a look at the area of severe weather, which is huge on Saturday from North Dakota all the way down through Texas. Now, when we look at that same map, this is looking at the available energy for storms, and it's a large area. But then when we look at the mid-level wind that's coming out, that shear that we talk about, you see how there's a lot more of it.
And it's together.
And it's together. It's co-located exactly right on Saturday. So that means there's going to be even more potential for strong storms on Saturday. Right now, the Torcon values are about the same, but we're a couple of days out, so they might go up a tick, you know, going into tomorrow. Could be a big day on Saturday, and then we expect to see even more severe weather on Sunday. So Torcon values right now 4 in eastern South Dakota, and then we've got a 5 to the south of that. It would not be at all surprising to see that come up to a 6. That's Nebraska and Kansas, and then we've got a 4 in Oklahoma there too. There might be an increase in the values, and that's severe weather extending down into Texas. And just as we saw from last Saturday to last Sunday, this upper low is going to lift up into the Midwest, and again, there's going to be a tornado threat, large hail, damaging wind. Right now, the Torcon's sitting at 4 in eastern Minnesota, western Wisconsin. Here, too, wouldn't be surprising to see that value come up as we get closer to the event. That's when we can have more confidence in raising these values. But we're talking about another big severe event starting tomorrow and then going through the weekend.
And we want to emphasize, too, that along with all of the severe threat, when we think of hail and tornadoes, that rain threat is huge
and we've
in
had
these spots.
so much rain there in Oklahoma in particular.
All right. Thanks, Carl. Vivian, over to you.
All right. Thank you. Well, Well, our amazing expert field in-depth coverage doesn't end here. Please stay tuned. We leave you with a live look over Atlanta. And as soon as we return from this break, Dave Schwartz and Reynolds Wolf are up next to keep you updated on the stormy weather for the rest of the evening.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy skies. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.